Hi, my name is John Locke, and today I'll be drawing my life for you guys. I was born on August 29th, 1632 in Rington, England. I was born to two wonderful parents named John and Agnes, who were happily married. And a few years after I was born, my parents wanted to have another kid, and they named him Thomas. For the majority of my life, I was homeschooled, up until I turned 15. And that's when my parents changed me to a real school, which is called Westminster. I've always loved reading and learning new things, and so at my time at Westminster, I learned 4 new languages, and they were Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and Arabic. So a few years later, I got accepted to Oxford University on a scholarship, and I took really cool classes there too. I took metaphysics, logic, classical languages, and medieval times. I then earned my master's degree in the methodology of disputation. And that was really the beginning to my lifelong journey of learning. All the abstract courses that I took in university really helped me develop my own opinions on legal and political issues, as well as religious issues. I later rejected the medieval theory that mankind innately knew the law of nature. Instead, I believed that all knowledge was a result of experience. I guess you could call me an empiricist. Then, in 1661, my family began to fall apart. My father passed away, and shortly after, my brother and my mother did too. I was left all alone, but they left me the land and cottages that we previously owned, and that pretty much provided me with enough income for the rest of my life. With all this time I had alone, I'd spent it thinking and contemplating on my newly developed theories. I began to examine all the denominations in Christianity, and I concluded that all of them must be tolerated, excluding Catholicism. Sorry, Catholics. Simply put, I rejected all dogma except a belief in God. And that's because I believe that reason must be separated from faith. All of these ideas were summed up into one of my life's major works, which I later called An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, and I published that in 1690, which was exciting. In it, I clarified 2 questions, the first one being where we derive our knowledge from, and the second one being whether we can really truly rely on our senses. So what I concluded was that all ideas come from ideas that were previously presented to us in the real world. Also, before we perceive anything, our mind is like a tabula rasa, or an empty slate. I also compared it to an unfurnished room, because this is how our mind is before we experience anything. Then we start seeing things, and our mind begins to have activity, and we think, and we reason, and we believe, and doubt, thus giving rise to what I call reflection. the only things that we can really perceive are simple things. And basically, little by little, we bundle up sensations together to form concepts. For example, when I eat a strawberry, I receive a whole series of sensations, such that it is red, and it's sweet and fresh. Then I form a complex idea that it is a strawberry. Now that we know how we get ideas, I began to question if the world really is how we perceive it. I then distinguished between primary and secondary qualities. Primary qualities are qualities that deal with really concrete things such as weight and motion and numbers. So with these qualities, we can be certain that our senses reproduce them objectively rather than subjectively. So, in other words, these things may as well be set in stone since they can't really be argued. Then we have our secondary qualities that deal with subjective things, such as whether something is sweet or sour, or hot or cold, or even whether something is red or blue. These things vary from one individual to another. For example, if I ask two people what green looks like to them, they might have completely different ideas of the color. Another example would be if I presented broccoli to two different people. One person might have a really unpleasant reaction and the other person might really like it. However, both can agree that it's solid. So yeah, that basically sums up my philosophical ideas thus far, of course. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and comment, rate, and subscribe. Bang bang.